but they're also pirates. What a downer. Hello and welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Lena and this is where I talk about life and art and books, but mostly books. And today is going to be a reading vlog. I am so excited to be starting another reading vlog because it has been such a long time since I have really been able to just focus my energy on reading for a little bit and actually being able to pull out my camera and take some clips here and there because I have just been so busy with work this year. So this reading vlog is gonna have a little theme of looking for some things that are light and fun and will be a little bit of a pick-me-up because the books that I have read recently have been super heavy. Most recently, the two books that I have finished were 1984 by George Orwell. I don't know why this wasn't required reading for me in school, but somehow I got through the American school system without being required to read this book. And so it's always been one that I'm like, well, I probably should read that sometime. References are made to that all the time, and I should know what those references mean. So I read this book. This was 5 stars. It was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I loved this. This was just, I can see why it's a classic and why it is considered a masterpiece. It was amazing. But oh my gosh, did it get me down. I was so bummed at the end of this book. Last sentence. If you have read this, you know what I mean. But like, oh my God. I was like, wow. I'm not okay. Will I ever be okay again? I'm not sure. Those were my feelings when I finished this book. And then, because I was like, oh, let's read something happy, I picked up The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker. So this is a book that a friend of mine had recommended and lent to me. Basically, this book changed his outlook on life. Complete game changer for him. And we were talking about it one night and I was very excited because I was like, sounds like it'll be totally up my alley. There are things that I really liked about this. He's basically trying to figure out the answer to the question, like, why do we exist? So there's a lot of existential exploration that happens in this book. Personally, I really enjoy existential psychology, and that whole realm of thinking and questioning is always of interest to me. So in that sense, I really enjoyed it, but I did feel like it needs a little bit of an update, which I know it can't have because the author died shortly after this book was published. He was actually dying of cancer at the time that he wrote it. But it was published in 1974 and I believe it won the Pulitzer Prize. Winner of the Pulitzer Prize in 1974 and the culmination of a life's work, The Denial of Death is Ernest Becker's brilliant and impassioned answer to the why of human existence. I think the reason I was not like, oh my gosh, so taken by the brilliance of this novel is because these ideas now are so central to the study of psychology that none of this was really new to me. But yeah, the first 100 pages at least are the history of psychology. Although I did not complete my master's program, I did begin my master's program in counseling psychology, and so I have taken psychological theory classes and that kind of thing. So I did already have a solid foundation of the history of psychology and how these things have come to be. I was just kind of like, okay, but why? Let's get to the why. And I felt like once it finally did kind of make that transition and start exploring, there wasn't very much book left. So I guess I just wish there would have been more of that exploration piece. A lot of the mental health themes explored are very outdated. It's not in line with the current DSM. And so it ending on that note made it difficult for me. Overall, I do think that it was a great book, and I think that if I didn't have extensive study in psychology already under my belt, that this probably would have been really like groundbreaking for me. I am, however, looking forward to having conversations with my friend about this, because I do think that he and I still hold a lot of similar beliefs, and I think that we could have some really fun discussions of philosophy and just like the big questions in life. Yeah, I looked back at some books that I had set aside for the springtime that I hadn't gotten to yet, and so this reading vlog is going to be reading some very blue books that will hopefully be just a little bit lighter and a little bit more enjoyable. So the first book on my list is Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. I don't know, I hear that this can be pretty spicy at times. I hear the houses fly. I feel like when I've read reviews, they've been a really wide range, opposite ends of the spectrum. So I will be interested to see what my experience will be, but I am not a romance reader usually. So I know that it's a risk, but if there's one thing that I know is really light and not going to rip out my heart and make me ask why I'm alive, it's a romance. A romance would have to be really horrible for me to ask why am I alive. So yeah. And on that same kind of theme, A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting. But I think they both have kind of like a Regency era historical romance kind of feel to it. So we'll see. Like Jane Austen, but maybe kind of saucy and fun. So that's what I'm hoping. I don't know. Have you read them? Tell me. And then the other one is Pineapple Street, which I had gotten, I think last year when it came out. I know my mom read this and said that she really enjoyed it, and I haven't read it yet. I think I had pre-ordered this actually, and I still have not read it. What is wrong with me? How is that possible? But it sounds like it's really light and rich people problems, which I would love, because like, I don't want to talk about my real problems. Let's just talk about people who have money and they don't have to worry about it, so they have all these other ridiculous problems that they're dealing with. Pure escapism, that's what I'm looking for, and hopefully this can give it to me. So these are the books that I have picked out for this reading vlog. I am excited to tackle these and to just feel lighter and more alive and less sad once I've read them. How does that sound? Does that sound good? I hope so. So it is currently Friday afternoon right now. I am about to go and get baby boy, and hopefully tonight I can settle in and start reading one of my books. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Yes. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't, please consider liking and subscribing. I would love that. It'd be wonderful if you stuck around for a little bit. Do you want a chocolate chip? You want a raisin? This is a cranberry. Happy Sunday. It is Mother's Day right now, so it has been a wonderful morning so far. I've been very spoiled with flowers and with an espresso machine, so I'm very excited and enjoying my espresso coffee because I'm spoiled. I figured I would jump in here and do a little reading update because I did start the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels in hopes of lifting my spirits. I'm like 75 pages in. This is absolutely a ridiculous little like pick-me-up. This is, I feel like, exactly what I needed. On the cover, a quote by author Jen DeLuca says that it is delightfully bonkers, and I would say that that captures this pretty perfectly. So following these women who are these very proper Regency era women in England, but they're also pirates. But instead of sailing pirate ships, they fly their houses around, and our main character is on the run because someone has it out for her and wants to have her assassinated. And of course, the man who has been hired to assassinate her is very, very handsome and also a pirate. I'm interested to see where it goes from here. I'm just having a fun, non-committal, not too invested time with it, which I feel like is exactly what I needed after 1984 shattered my spirit. After school today, we are headed to Detroit because we are going to a concert. We're going to see Say Anything and AJJ. It's gonna be like a quick turnaround day because like not only is it my day where I see my classes for like shortened amounts of time, so the day just kind of like boom, 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 just goes right by. Then also I'm gonna have to leave my team meeting right away as soon as it's done, and then come straight home so that we can go straight to Detroit and make it to the show before it starts. So it's gonna be a really busy, rushed afternoon. And I'm just trying to think if I like should buy my book as an audiobook. I just can't decide. I'm enjoying physically reading it, but I can't read in the car. It always makes me car sick. But any of the books that I have on my TBR for this reading vlog, I don't have an audio format. So I'm just kind of thinking maybe I need to find an audiobook for the trip since we'll be in the car for like 6 hours today. So I'll keep you updated on the audiobook front. Happy Friday. It is about almost 6:30 and it is the last full Friday of the school year, so that's exciting. We still have school next Friday, but it's a half day. But I wanted to give you a little reading update. Oh, my voice is so raspy this early in the morning. I haven't talked yet today. Another book that I have finished for this reading vlog is Pineapple Street. So I listened to the audiobook for this one when I've been cleaning at work, but then also we took a little road trip to Detroit to see us an AJJ show. So I listened to the book during the ride because I can't physically read during a car ride, but I can listen to an audiobook. So I'd get sick if I was physically reading. And this one, I actually had a pretty good time with this one. This was like rich people problem. So nothing that I could like super relate to, but definitely escapism. And I've heard some people be like really hard on this book. Like probably wouldn't even like fall on the scale of problems for some of us. So their Maslow's were definitely being met. So they had time to stress about smaller things. But man, I will never not love this cover, especially after reading the book, because I feel like it like, wow, gives a vision to this house on Pineapple Street that one of the couple characters is living in. So really good, and one of the characters goes through like a really nice growth arc. So yeah, I enjoyed it. This vlog has taken me a little bit longer than expected to complete, but you know what? That's okay, because my goal, or one of my goals this year, was to slow down with my reading speed, which I was totally able to do with the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. I took my time with it. I read it physically. This was really fun. Like, this was just like a wild little romp that you do not need to take seriously at all, which I thought was just really great because it's like set in the Regency era in England, and like the Queen is there, and all these prim proper ways of being are like playing a role, and then there is just such absurdity throughout this book. I don't know, getting up to piratey trouble. I don't know, even when the author is like trying to be like really tongue-in-cheek and like cutesy, usually that bothers me. Like usually I don't really like that, but in this one, I don't know, it just did it for me. I just enjoyed it. It was silly, it was light, and it was definitely the pick-me-up that I think I needed after reading some of those heavier books earlier in the spring. So if you want something that is just kind of like goofy and silly and doesn't need to be taken seriously at all, this was just a good time for me. Yeah, I actually really liked it. I'm surprised to say that I liked it as much as I did. And I also read Pineapple Street by Jenny Jackson, which was just like full-on rich people problems, which can be annoying at times when you're like, no, I have real people problems, not rich people problems. But it definitely like serves the purpose of some like real escapism and making those wealthier people in the world more real, and seeing how their thought process around money can be corrupted as well. So I don't know, I thought that it was interesting, and I think it would be really interesting to read with friends and discuss. I don't know, maybe I can get some friends to read it and have some good talks, or maybe you've read it and we can have some good talks. That would be amazing. So if you have read Pineapple Street, comment below, please. The other one that I read, oh yes, was Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood, which was also just a really fun time. I tend to enjoy romance when it is like a young adult romance because there's not as much spice involved, and I'm not really a big one for spice in my books at all. So I do tend to enjoy a YA romance, but it was really heavy on the chest And I loved that. I thought that it was really fun. But even with it being like a young adult novel, the guy was still so tall. Allie Hazelwood loves her men tall, I guess. And this guy was no different. So if you've enjoyed books of hers in the past, then maybe you would really like it. I did not get to read A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting. Okay, quick update, because before I finished editing this vlog, my library hold for A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting came up. I forgot that I had put this on hold like months ago before I even purchased the book. And it was perfect timing because I needed something to listen to that I could enjoy the cleaning process more than usual kind of thing. So yep, I listened to it quite quickly and I loved it. Actually, it's probably my favorite book from this whole reading vlog. It had like such a perfectly Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice, enemies to lovers kind of feel to it. I found the characters so lovable. I loved that the main character, Kitty, she's like in this situation where she needs to marry. She's the oldest sister in a family of, I think, 4 sisters. And like she has to get married. Their parents have passed away. They have a lot of debt. She needs to take care of her family, and so she needs to marry well, and she's completely honest that that is her intention when seeking a husband. And I found that part of the story so charming that like she was like, yeah, this is the situation I'm in. I need to find a wealthy husband. I don't know, they're just like their banter and their relationship developing and stuff. Like, it was just really enjoyable from start to finish. I had a good time. Definitely, if you enjoy a Regency era romance, if you like enemies to lovers, this one I think will definitely please. It'll make you happy. You'll enjoy it. You'll have a good time. I will see you in the next clip. So I hope you enjoyed this little vlog. This was my first time getting back into doing a reading vlog, so I don't know, it may be really rough. I'm not sure. I can't even like remember what footage I've gotten while I've been doing it, so we'll see, you know. That's okay. I'll get back into the swing of it. It'll be good. In the meantime, I hope that you are doing lots of wonderful reading. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. That would be so wonderful. I will see you in the next one. Bye!